I've been scared to death. I've been afraid of dying. I can't tell you how many times I've wondered if I was going to wake up the next morning. But then I think, I got to do it. I will do it. I will survive. I will get through this. There's a life to be led here. Yeah. Zoo? Is that you?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go. We're late.
Let's go. Fine.
Hi, I'm Mike. I've known this Ingersoll family for like 12 years, I guess. 13 years. What do I do? I don't know. When Mary got cancer a couple years ago, you know what I ended up doing? I'm a driver. I'm the person that she talks to. I haul her blood all over town. I haul her to chemo.
As often as I have received chemo, I never really get used to it. Because the day before I get chemo, I get a little nervous because I know I'm going to be hooked up. The procedure itself is relatively painless. They prick me in the arm. I have what's called a passport installed in my left arm. There's a little button, and then there's a tube. There's a catheter running all the way through up until here, and that makes it a whole lot easier to just put in the little butterfly needle and to get the chemo.
But we try to make it where everybody's very comfortable and try to make them feel very much at home. And most of our patients do, and most of them say that they really love coming here.
In October of 1998, I was diagnosed with a very large tumor in the right breast. My previous mammogram missed it. Either that or it wasn't there. It grew very large, very fast. I had surgery to remove it, and I had a lumpectomy.
I think being an oncology nurse, what I deal with most is a lot of stress. We deal with a lot of family members. We deal with patients that are newly diagnosed.
After I had surgery at the end of '98, I went through 4 rounds of what I call killer chemo. I had Taxol, I had Adriamycin. Those kick your ass. They really kick your ass. Hair falls out. You're the walking wounded. After that was over and I slowly, began to recover, the nightmare started again in October of 2000. They did some scans and discovered that the cancer had metastasized to my brain. Right there, I had a very neatly contained breast tumor in the brain. So I went through surgery to remove that, and I went through 5 days of radiation. And when you have a metastasis in any part of the body, you go through all kinds of scans to find out, well, if it went to the brain, where else could it have gone? Well, it went to my right lung. So that's why I'm doing chemo again.
Even though it's stressful, we have, on a normal basis, we have 12 to 16 patients a day. Each one of them getting their blood drawn, getting an IV start, getting multiple medications. And so there's a lot of teaching. And it's very, very fast-paced environment.
To add insult to injury, what more am I supposed to go through? The original breast cancer, then it goes to my brain, then it goes to my right lung. So
This is the 3rd time that she's going through this. She's fearful. She's afraid. I think the fearful part is, of course, she's afraid of reoccurrence, and justifiably so.
That come in here and they don't know what to expect. So their fear is the biggest feeling, I think, that most of our patients feel, not knowing what's going to happen.
even though I've been coming in here to get chemo since December of 2000 each week, I still feel terribly anxious. I have, anxiety, panic attacks, not full-fledged attacks, but, there's always a bit of apprehension, and there's always a bit of, oh God, one more week. Oh God, when is this going to come to an end?
And I started taking care of Mary, I guess it was about 6 months ago or something like that, and came very close to Mary. She's got a great sense of humor, wonderful person, and we've learned a lot about each other. We work really well together. She does very well with the medications.
The chemo that I am undergoing now is called Gemzar, and I'm also undergoing Herceptin. Herceptin attacks cancer in a different way. It doesn't devastate the healthy cells. The Gemzar does kill healthy cells, although it's not nearly as devastating as the chemo that I was on several years ago.
I find that most people usually come in after a few times with a really positive attitude, and they really enlighten me as to how chemotherapy works. How does it go? How does it really affect them in their lives? So I've learned a lot from it, as well as I've taught a lot about it.
A couple of days after chemo, I feel weird. I'm at a loss for a better word to describe it. It's just a real weird feeling. I guess what keeps me going through all of the weird feelings is I have a daughter to raise.
My job is to get these people to understand, number one, what they're getting, what the side effects are, how is it going to impact their lives.
I hate to commit to anything, much of anything, because I just don't know. For example, last Sunday, I just was exhausted. And I wanted to go shopping because, you know, shopping makes me feel a lot better.
They deal with many situations in life that we all think about, but that don't affect us because we don't have cancer. So
I couldn't do it. I just could not. I was afraid to go driving because I was afraid that, you know, that I would fall asleep at the wheel.
And they learn so much about life and what it really means to be alive and appreciate each day.
It was very frustrating. Very frustrating because I wanted to get out of the house and I just wanted to do something. But I couldn't do anything. I spent most of the day in bed. I look at these quilts as functional art. I mean, who doesn't like a quilt thrown over the bed or thrown over the couch or over a chair or hanging on the wall? And I give them away as gifts, and I'm also trying to sell more and more of them. It's nice to have something to show for recovery, but also just to produce something of yourself. So it's been a wonderfully soothing kind of activity while I've been recovering. You really cannot go through an experience like cancer without a strong support group, without, I don't mean necessarily a support group in the sense of people sitting around talking about it, but you need someone there for you. In my case, it has been my husband and my daughter. They have been there every step of the way. They have been incredible. My in-laws have been extremely helpful and supportive. They live on the East Coast, so we're separated by 3,000 and some miles, but they call a lot and they have flown out a lot to see me since I have been going through this the last 2.5 years.
Having a family, having people was so much more important than all the external things.
Ironically, my own parents are kind of I rarely hear from my mother. My father, who is a retired surgeon, I rarely hear from him. I grew up in a family situation of a lot of dysfunction. I had no encouragement. No one was there to say, Mary, you can do this. So it had to come from me. I became very determined at an early age. I can get through this because I can do anything. This is my daughter Jenny. She's 12. She's going into the 7th grade in the fall. She plays piano and flute, and she's a sports whiz, and she's an actress.
I take her kid to auditions.
Through journalism, I had been a print and broadcast journalist, and that segued into acting, which is what I actually really always wanted to do.
I pick her kid up from auditions.
I've been a blonde, a brunette, a redhead, long hair, short hair, always playing character roles.
Speaking of which, I gotta go pick the kid up now.
Some of the roles that I have played as an actress include newscasters, of course, from my background as a news reporter. I've played moms, I've played hotel clerks. I also was able to use my musicianship as an actor. I played the cello in numerous episodics and films. Once the chemotherapy is done and I start to regain my energy and my strength, I would like to rethink the acting career a little bit, pursue more character roles.
I certainly would like to be an advocate for nurses today to go into this field because it's very rewarding and it's really a positive environment. It's not negative, as a lot of people tend to think.
I actually have an acquaintance who believes that cancer is contagious. You think in this day and age that people would be over that kind of thinking?
It concerns me that we have a huge nursing shortage today, and very few people are going into chemotherapy infusion. I don't know if it's because of the pay scale or it's because of the fear of cancer.
I guess everyone reacts to cancer differently. Some people draw closer to that person who is ill and who needs love and warmth and support.
I think if you ask any oncology nurse, what most of them will say is that a prerequisite for anyone to get cancer is that a person has to be a really good person.
Other people sort of step back from it because it hurts them too much. You know, they fear being close to them.
I find that's true with most of my patients, that they're really good and wonderful people. I learned so much from them.
To be honest with you, I've been through hell. I have to survive. I'm not done with this lifetime yet. There's so much more I want to do. My priorities have certainly changed. I don't take much very seriously anymore, other than the really, really important things in life. Your focus changes, your priorities change. You really learn what's important. And I think people get so hung up on the minutiae of life that's so meaningless. For me, it's family, it's home.
Today, Mary is cancer-free.